So you want to promote products, but you feel like a fraud. Who am I to recommend this, right? I'm not an expert. I'm just learning this myself. So you stay quiet because you think you need years of experience before you can share anything. So you found a product that actually helped you, right? You used it, got results. You know it works. But you're not posting about it. Why? Because you're comparing yourself to the experts. The people who've been doing this for 10 years, who have certifications, who have massive audiences, who speak at conferences. You just started. You barely figured this out yourself. How can you recommend anything to anyone? So you wait, right? You think maybe after a year I'll be qualified, right? Maybe after I get certified, maybe after I build a bigger following. You're waiting for permission that's never coming, because expert is a feeling you only get after you've already been doing it for a while. So here's what actually happens when you share anyways, right? You post about a product, you mention you just started using it, you share your early results, and someone messages you, right? They say this is exactly what they needed. They were looking for someone who just figured it out, right? Not someone 10 years ahead of them. And then they buy through your link because you were relatable, not because you were an expert. So instead of waiting to feel qualified, you're helping people who are exactly where you were like last month. Instead of thinking expertise is required, you're realizing proximity is more valuable. You don't need to be the expert, right? You need to be one step ahead of the person you're helping. And not feeling like an expert makes sense, right? You look at successful people in your niche, they have credentials, right? Experience, proof. You have none of that. So you feel like a fake, right? Like you're pretending to know something you don't. But here's what you're missing, right? The people you're trying to help don't need an expert. They need someone who just solved the problem they're facing, right? And that's you, right? You just solved it. You remember what it's like, right? That's more valuable than you think, right? So pay attention to this. Number one, being one step ahead is enough, right? You think you need to be 10 steps ahead to help anyone, but that's wrong. The people or the person struggling, or the people struggling with the problems you just solved, they don't need someone 10 steps ahead, right? Those people, that the person is too far removed, right? Too far advanced. They use jargon, right? They use jargon like that people don't understand. So these people need someone one step ahead, right? Someone who remembers what it's like to be stuck, right? Someone who speaks their language, someone who just figured it out, right? And that's you. You're one step ahead, right? That's exactly where you need to be. You help people one step behind you, and there are always people one step behind you, right? Number two, fresh experience is more valuable than old expertise, right? The expert who's been doing this for 10 years, right? They forgot what it's like to be a beginner, right? They forgot the stupid questions, the obvious confusion, the basic struggles, right? You didn't forget, right? You just went through it. You remember exactly what was hard, right? Exactly what you needed to do and exactly what you needed to hear. Exactly what made it click, right? That recent experience is gold. It makes you relatable, more helpful, right? More effective than someone who's too far ahead to remember, right? So share it while it's fresh, while you remember. That's when you're most valuable. Number 3, you're not claiming to be the world's authority, right? You're sharing what worked. So there's a difference between saying I'm the leading expert in this field and saying this helped me and it might help you too, right? One requires credentials and the other just requires honesty, right? You're not writing textbooks, right? You're not giving keynote speeches. You're just saying, here's what I tried and here's what happened. Here's the link if you want it. That doesn't require expertise. It requires experience, and you have that. So stop thinking you need to be the authority, right? You just need to be authentic. And so how do you promote products when you don't feel like an expert? How do you share confidently without claiming authority you don't have? Your mindset is 95% of this. You need to understand that being one step ahead is enough. You need to value your fresh experience over old expertise. You need to share what worked and not claim to be the authority, right? But you also need language, right? How to position yourself honestly, how to share without overpromising, right? How to help the people without pretending to know more than you do, right? I created a free guide that breaks this down in 7 easy steps. Now, this is the guide I wish I had when I first started. It's free because I want you to help people from where you are and not wait years until you feel qualified. The link is in the description. Go grab it, read it, take action, and share something you just learned today. And drop a fire emoji if you're done waiting to feel like an expert and starting to help from where you are. And I'll see you tomorrow. I'm out.